The Bulldog Rally final round of the Mintex National Rally Championship had found a new home for 1998. Yes, the beautiful and historic city of Shrewsbury. The Wolverhampton and South Staffs Car Club had moved the rally from Aberystwyth, but they had a problem. The River Severn was full to overflowing. Heavy rains in the week preceding really did threaten the start of the rally, and particularly the Midland Showground where the final stage would be held. But fortunately the rally was starting down in Newtown. It was wet, and so was Alister McRae. A last minute entry for the rally.
Alister. Well, so come as a bit of a late surprise.
Yeah, it's just, well, obviously after getting the deal to do the RAC, we were doing some testing at the start of the week, and the possibility was there to do this rally as a continuation of the test, so just to get more miles in the car.
How is it going back to a Subaru and back to four-wheel drive?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, I think to drive any car at 10 to 100% is difficult, so 80% seems quite easy, but I think to drive the speed we'll need to drive in the RAC, it'll not be so easy.
Do you feel a bit of pressure, because this could be a very big break for you? It could be that final vault into the World Championship as a regular competitor.
I don't feel the pressure yet, but I'm sure the morning of the RAC there'll be a bit there.
Now, obviously it must have been 4 or 5 years ago since you drove a Subaru in anger. Have the cars changed much?
Yeah, they're slightly different. I think it was 93 when I drove the Legacy. It's obviously a World Rally car now. I don't know how much quicker they are, but it's slightly different to drive. Obviously driving Formula 2 for the last sort of 4 years, it's a big change.
I think you need a slightly different technique.
You've got to brake a lot earlier. The weight of the F2 car lets you go in a lot deeper into the corners, but you do come out a hell of a lot quicker. So.
And Colin's told you a few tips about the car?
Yeah, well, he's obviously helping me out as much as he can, but once the rally starts, it's down to me.
Well, David Higgins, another man that's a late entry here in a Subaru, albeit a Group N, and you're looking to do some tyre testing here.
Yeah, we're basically just here to get final setup ready for the RAC. This value is very good value for money, because there's a lot of stage miles, and some of the stages are actually used on the RAC, where you could go and spend the money on a day's testing and you get very used to the same place. So always just an ideal opportunity to come here and have a go and get a bit of match practice in again before the RAC as well, so it should be a good battle in the RAC.
Now the Barrett's team's actually switched tyre manufacturer.
Yeah, it's not so much the Barrett's team, it's more of a thing that we unfortunately couldn't get a deal together with Pirelli for the RAC. And obviously because of the tyres, the main part of the budget for any rally, that I had to look elsewhere myself to try to enable me to even do the event really, so it's a bit of a shame at the end of the day, but I'd rather do the rally than with something different than not do it at all, to be honest.
Morning. Yarmo, good morning.
Morning.
Not really the day for front wheel drive.
No, it looks very wet and very slippery, but it's very important even for us to see how the car is working and get some experience from the gravel and also the forest stage season.
Today you're going to try and win the rally if you can?
We can do what we can do, but Alister is also here and a lot of good drivers, but we will see what happens.
Well, Marcus Dodd, the defending champion of the Bulldog Rally, and also going for 3 wins in a row in the Mintex Championship, but it's going to be more difficult than you thought.
Well, hopefully so, because I think if we beat Alister, then they've got the wrong person driving the car. But no, we're just going to use today as a test. We've got a lot of new stuff on the car, even since the last rally, so we really want to use it as a test. So we'll probably find the times vary. We'll go quickly one stage and then slowly the next. But I don't think we'll be retaining our crown this year.
This could be quite an important rally for you, because obviously people will compare your times against Alister. A lot of people are asking, how good is Marcus Dodd?
Yeah, I think the RAC will be the real telltale. Today, we've only had sort of 5-10 miles in the car yesterday with the new controllers in it. So really the RAC is the one that we're really aiming for. There's a lot more star names there as well.
What do you mean by controllers?
The diff controllers that control the transmission system. We've got a new engine controller as well. So everything's very new. It's a totally different car from the last time I drove it. So it's learning it all over again.
Roger, the first thing is to say congratulations, because since the last rally you have been confirmed as the Mintex champion.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, I'm obviously exceptionally pleased.
What about today? superb entry list. Obviously, we see how quickly you can go.
Yeah, I mean, I want to have fun today. It'd be nice to have no pressure on from the championship point of view, but there's always pressure on because you've got to show well, haven't you?
Mark has been telling me that you reckon here it'd be a bit more equal Stevens with Marcus Dodd because his intercooler won't be giving him the extra power because of it being so cold.
An interesting theory we should have to see.
Do you reckon it does make a difference to those World Rally cars? Obviously got a lot more cooling.
They've got better power than us, that's for sure. But yeah, maybe the wet conditions will help us a bit.
Okay, well, go for that win.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Very quickly, Brian. Back in a Subaru. What's the story here?
Well, I got fed up with not finishing rallies, basically. So we'll see. Yeah.
Now, this isn't an old friend, this one, is it?
No, it is, but it's not. It wasn't my old car. It was Peter Vassallo's car, and Jimmy Patterson. So I just bought it from him to do this event, basically. So.
Different co-driver as well. Well, co-driver's used to the car. Actually, was he left in the car? Was he?
Pretty well, but well, we'll see.
What's the strategy, Brian, today?
Try and finish the rally.
Yeah, Brian hasn't had much fun with that Escort WRC. Well, whether to turn Brolly's inside out the first two stages in the Hafren Forest. And just look at the speed of Alister McRae in the Pro Drive car. Look at that, chucks the car sideways before the hairpin, accelerates out, carrying the speed through the corners. Here is a world-class driver. At work is another world-class driver. The front brakes were glowing red. Jarmo Cutaletto was also using this event as a test for the upcoming Network Q. Flinging the two-wheel drive Astra around. Certainly the Ray Mallock team have done an outstanding job this year to get that car onto the pace. Another late entry at number 113, but running third on the road. Chris Mellors finding out at first hand what the Mellors Elliott Escort WRC can do. And that steam looks a little bit ominous from the Mellors car. In fact, it looks very ominous indeed. Here is Marcus Dodd. As you heard, quite a lot of new computer controls in the ex-Ford Motor Company WRC test car. And Marcus Dodd won this rally last year, trying to make it 3 Mintex rally wins in a row. And let's look at the rear disc glowing red there. Car popping and banging on the anti-lag system. Well, in Hafren South, not surprisingly, it was McRae who was fastest with a time of 9:16. There's Roger Dockwith going through. Second place was indeed Marcus Dodd. Third place, bit of a surprise, you haven't seen the car yet, Andy Burton. And in fourth place on Hafren South was in fact David Higgins. David Higgins running with those Michelin tyres, as you heard him say, in the Barrett's Motorsport car. Martin Henderson here in his Metro. We're now on special stage 2, Hafren North. McRae fastest on Hafren North by 39 seconds from Andy Burton. Here's Murray Grierson, the man who battled for the Mintex Championship with Roger Duckworth all through the season. Murray Grierson, former Scottish champion. So McRae fastest on stage 1, McRae fastest on stage 2. On stage 2, Lyle third fastest with a 14:26, and Marcus Dodd was still going strongly. Lyle buying back that now venerable Subaru, the ex-Carlos Sainz car. And Steve Harris co-driving him, I think, for the first time. Here is Steve Hill cocking up a wheel there, the man who won his first Mintex event of this rally 2 years ago. Steve Hill in his Steve Hill Rallying built Mitsubishi. News coming through that David Higgins was in trouble, and also in Hafren a crash for Jarmo Kitaletto. Here is Warren Philliskirk, the drainage specialist from up near York. Always goes well on the Mintex Championship, likes to have that battle with his friend and fellow Yorkshireman Martin Harrison in the black Metro we saw a little earlier. Warren Philliskirk running inside the top 10. Here is Steve Petch in his Mellors built Escort WRC. Petch 8th fastest on the first stage, 5th fastest on this second stage here. Here is Burton in the fabulous self-built Peugeot, the ice racing panels, and I have discovered where the engine came from. A bit more of that a little later, but just listen to it. It is built by Cosworth. It is a V6 and it sounds absolutely fabulous. Absolutely marvellous motor car, and Burton was in second place, having a great run. David Higgins there, all locked up. And a little later on special stage 2, the turbo is going to pop. Runar Jonsson coming all the way from Iceland with a big reputation in an old legacy and going very quickly indeed, despite not feeling very well. Bit of a spin there for number 14, Richard Goff with his Mitsubishi. The venerable Sierra there running at a 15 of Greg Mills. Very much in home territory here, Greg Mills, but that car really has had a very long and tough life, as of course is this machine, this Sierra of Nigel Warswick with Clive Molyneux alongside. Might be old, that car, but it still goes very well indeed. Nigel Warswick. Another late entry. John Byrne all the way from Scotland in a V64V, the long wheelbase Metro. Several Metros out on this event. Guy Robinson, number 17 in his Escort. Always good for a top 20 finish and sometimes a top 10 result. See the back wheel locked up as they dab on the handbrake to get them around that hairpin. Brian Bell spinning there. The man from Skegness has switched from his Mitsubishi to a WRC Escort. 10 seconds or so drop there, just a little mistake from Brian Bell. Certainly enjoys his rallying. Jeremy Eason, no doubt chuckling all the way in a brand new Evo 5 Mitsubishi. Vince Wetton, a man who's been going so well in Group N this year on the Mintex Championship, in fact already won the Group N title. Vince Wetton sorts it out, and I understand he's going to have a full Group A Mitsubishi in the series next year, so be pleased to see if Vince can really have a go at the top runners. Just see the track starting to cut up a bit here. Yet another Mitsubishi. Richie Holfeld, Ian Grindrod, a very tricky hairpin that, and Richie beaten to the Group N title this year by Vince Wetton, but having given him a very good run for his money. The man from Dublin rallied out in the Middle East for a while. 105. Another Mintex regular here in Group N, Malak Nicol, all the way from Scotland. And that car doesn't sound quite on song. somebody that Malak regularly trades seconds with. Dick Foster, 108 in the Amcris Construction Escort. Nick, one of the few rally drivers from the home counties. Of course, Richard Burns comes from the home counties, so let's not discount them. Number 27. Nice to see a very quick escort. There's none quicker than Robin Bradbury's old Mark II there. That's a car capable of a top 20 position in the Mintex round. Gethin Jones, oh, not quite getting it right there in the number 30 car. Gethin Jones, who won the car championship last year. John Roberts from Festiniog in his Sierra. And let's go to emergency service. Andy, we're going so well in stage 2 when we saw you. What's happened now?
I think we've got a problem with the flange come off the diff. I don't know. We'll sort it. We hope.
You've changed the engine of this quite recently, haven't you?
Yes, it's a Cosworth engine now, which it seems quite good, but it's difficult in the wet.
What sort of Cosworth engine?
It's a development engine. I've got to go now.
Got to go, okay. Best of luck with it. Warren, if I could just dive in while you're working there, what's the problem?
We've got electrical problem, I think. It's reoccurred from the last event. We thought we'd got it cured, but with a problem in the wiring, I think, and it's just lost us quite a lot of time on the last stage.
Is it misfiring badly?
It nearly stopped, yeah.
You're all straight now.
I think we'll let you get on with it, Warren. Best of luck. And the rain kept coming down onto special stage 3, Tarenig. And Alister McRae was still in full attack mode, visibly quicker than anybody else. Yama Catuletto, off he goes. Catuletto had a problem. Talk about that a little later. Chris Mellors, still problems, I think, with the engine management system of that car. But Chris still putting in some quite quick times. Marcus Dodd. Lots of flames. Again, those brakes glowing red there. I think maybe he has a slight problem with that. Roger Duck with the Autosportif, the Martin Spurrell prepared motor car. Here is Martin Harrison. Next up, Murray Grierson. Lovely crackle of the Subaru exhaust. Brian Lyle. And some times coming through, and not surprisingly, we understand on stage 3, McRae increasing his lead. Marcus Dodd, second fastest, 12 seconds between the pair of them. Warren Phillips-Kirk here. And they still sound nice, don't they? Let's face it. Steve Petch from Bishop Auckland. And here is that fabulous Peugeot Cosworth. And that Cosworth engine, I can reveal, it is actually an Opel V6 engine out of an ITC car from a couple of years ago. But problems down at Sweet Lamb Service. Let's chat with David Higgins. David, a short rally for you. What's happened?
Halfway through the second stage, the turbo was just blown, so unfortunately we haven't got a spare one here with us, so that's it for today. So very short test.
Did you have any warning it was going to go?
No, we just immediately went to complete loss of power, and then I stopped and disconnected the pipe and drove the car out slowly. So it's a bit of a pain. At least we can go home to the dry now. I'm not far from home here anyway.
Yarmo, what happens? A lot of damage on the back.
Stage 2, nearly the finish. We saw the finish line, and it was very fast, right short corner, and and we spun. and the rear hit the wall, and that's the reason why it's a lot of damage.
Can it be repaired? Are you continuing?
I hope so. I hope so. It's quite a lot of service time here available.
How was the car going until the accident?
It's going straight. It's not a problem.
Not a problem for him, big problem for these Ray Mallet mechanics. A lot of work to do here in the rain and the cold. Warren Phillips-Kirk is out of the rally. McRae leads. Andy Burton is still second. Marcus Dodd is in third place. We'll be back in just a few moments here on World Motorsports. Monuments in the Forest. We are on special stage 4, My Herrin, and the pace continues to be set by a flying Alister McRae. David Senior alongside him, but of course no proper pace notes on this. Here, still running number 2 on the road, but still with steam coming out the side of the car, and surely it can't last much longer. Chris Mellors, the former multi-Mintex champion. Marcus Dodd. Here is Marcus trading second place with Andy Burton, who's been going remarkably quickly, and Marcus having a bit of an incident there and dropping it. Oh, and the engine stopped, and so he's just dropped it into the ditch. Well, I think I heard his mum and dad there. Roger Duck was coming along, and Mark Broomfield there looking down at the maps. And still Marcus is stuck, and indeed Marcus has got out of the car. There's his dad alongside him, Harry. Fancy going off in front of your dad, but the problem there is that the engine has stopped and they can't restart it, and that's why he hasn't just been able to back out of that ditch. Martin Harrison still going very strongly indeed, but all the time Marcus Dodd dropping the seconds. I think he's been there for a couple of minutes already. We've seen a couple of cars go by. And a lot of shouting and pushing going on. Well, the car is pretty stuck there. I'm not sure if he could have driven it out of that position. Here is Murray Grierson. Well, Murray Grierson had a relatively slow start and was lying in 10th place at the end of the first 2 stages, but had moved up to 4th place after the end of 3. So everything very tight there in the positions round 3rd, 4th, 5th and through to 10th place. So Marcus Dodd drops something like 4 minutes and finally gets away. Brian Lyle happy back in the Subaru. Steve Harris, of course, was Scottish champion rally co-driver this year, alongside the previous owner of the car. Steve Hill running just inside the top 10. Heard of some very quick times from the Mitsubishi of Jeremy Eason, and also Mark Perrott going very well in his first run in a Mitsubishi Group N car. Here is Steve Petch. Andy Burton. As I was just saying, that engine did some service in one of the Opel Calibras in the ITC Championship a couple of years ago. It's a V6 motor, and Andy Burton is a brilliant engineer. He's got that in the place where that Metro engine was previously. I believe it also makes the engine better balanced. There's a quick shot there of Glyn Jones in his ex-Subaru All-Stars Pro-Drive built car. John Byrne again with his Metro. John Byrne running just inside the top 10. Brian Bell's car popping and banging there, probably got some water in the works. Brian Bell's had a period of historic running, and here a bit of a problem again for Bell. He's really not yet come to terms with this new motor car, and now the problem is he cannot get it into gear, and I don't think Brian is really used to one of these latest boxes. And meanwhile, here is Jeremy Eason, who is leading the Group N section of the rally, getting some testing in. And as I said, Brian Bell having a problem sorting out the sequential box, but finally he does get away. Vince Wetton again, and we have heard that On My Heron, fastest time, big surprise. Not Alister McRae fastest, but a surprise, Andy Burton only 4 seconds slower. Jarmo Cutuletto back in the running thanks to the mechanics, and let's look at the back of the car. Well, they have jacked some of it out. And here is a car that is going phenomenally well, running, I think, second in Formula 2, the diesel-powered Golf of Neil Simpson. He's gone well all season. And what's this Metro there? It's reprofiled Jeff Cottrell. He has had that car upside down and got going again. And he's been chased there by Phil Morgan's Formula 2 Peugeot. Now we move on to Dobby. Tricky uphill section here, quite stony, and the rain continues to come down. McRae running first on the road, chased by Roger Duckworth. Martin Harrison here. We heard that On My Heron, Lyle was third fastest, Grierson fourth, Petch fifth, and Perrott sixth fastest. That is absolutely sensational in a Group N car. And then Eason, Duckworth and Cutuletto all doing the same time. And Marcus Dodd, actually his time was 9:17 against Lyle, for instance, 5:38. And Brian Lyle now moving up the field ahead of Murray Grierson. And Marcus Dodd, actually, there he is now, has dropped to 20th place overall. On Taliesin. And Taliesin seeing McRae fastest yet again. Burton still in second place in this rally, had those early problems with the diff, he obviously fixed it. And well, Glyn Jones, he's after a different title here, hopes to clinch the Welsh Rally Championship here, something previously won by Mark Perrott. Here's that Icelandic driver, Rune Jonsson. He is being co-driven by his father. Now, his father has a different surname, but that's how it works in Iceland. I won't go into all the complications of Icelandic names, but a father and son combination nevertheless. Richard Goff in his Mitsubishi up the hill, and this looks terminal now for Chris Mellors. Big disappointment for Chris, and a big cloud of smoke. That turbocharger has definitely popped. I don't think enjoyment's quite the word in this weather, is it? But you seem to be going very, very well.
Yeah, it's going well. I mean, we're obviously treating this as a test, so we're changing things all the time, but everything's going well at the moment.
Looks very spectacular. Great to watch, actually.
It doesn't feel too spectacular inside the car, but it maybe look different outside, I don't know.
Very quickly, I know you've got to go. What's your problem?
No, we've got a problem with the battery. The battery keeps on going flat in the stage, so we lost about 5 minutes in one stage, but other than that I think we've been second fastest all day, so but it just lost us a lot of time, so there we go. We're testing now, so that's all we can do.
Typical rally drive. You notice he never mentioned that he dropped it into the ditch first. There we go now with Alister McRae, who has been fastest on every stage. And just to confirm that Chris Mellors out with that blown turbo, Petch has retired, Andy Burton is still in second place. Marcus Dodd at the end of stage 5, just before that service, actually moved all the way back to 11th place. Also, Jarmo Cutuletto out of the rally, some mechanical problem, and that Volkswagen of Simpson in 16th place overall. That is absolutely fantastic. Well, I think the big interest for the second part of the rally to see, apart from whether you can actually ever get dry again, whether Marcus Dodd can get himself back into the top 5, I don't think there's any question now that Alister McRae has really got the hang of this Subaru. He's driving it just like his brother. And here on this stage in the Dovey Forest, just look at some of the drops on the right-hand side and think if you really do want to become a co-driver. Murray Grierson having a very good run during this event, so he looks as if he might actually make it into the top 2 or 3. But one of the sensations, of course, the speed of Andy Burton. Just enjoy this ride here with Alister. Different from the Volkswagen Golf, and of course we'll see him in a Hyundai in the World Championship in 1998 and in 1999, I should say, and Hyundai confirming that later in the year they will have a 4-wheel drive car. Just look at the traction of that Subaru. This car being run by the ProDrive test team. As Alister said all along, this is all part of the test for the Network Q. Roger Duckworth having a relatively quiet run for him, but he's had a great year, has Roger. Won the championship. Been obviously that discussion about some of his times and that miscontrol, which as they're all out of the way now, the RAC have rubber stamped the result, which was good enough to make him the champion going into this round, just a few days before the actual round. News that the final stage of the day at the Midland Showground is cancelled. The field is partly waterlogged. Murray Grierson just going a little bit wide there. News from special stage 6 Dovey. McRae fastest again, but 9 seconds faster than Marcus Dodd over 11 minutes of rallying. So that's showing that Dodd has got the speed. Grierson fastest on 6, Duckworth fourth. Grierson third fastest on 6, Duckworth fourth fastest. Jeremy Eason up there in the top 5 again, just in front of Perrott, and Warswick 8th fastest on that stage. But Marcus Dodd there, puff of blue smoke from the exhaust. That car still moving up the field. I think Marcus reckons he might even get a top 3 now, despite losing almost 4 minutes off, as we saw earlier, and really chucking the car around. But just comparing the times of Marcus Dodd with Alister McRae, really hasn't been that far off, and I think that is very impressive indeed from the South Coast Powerboat distributor, Sunseeker Powerboats, of course. Company runs with his father Harry. They operate down in Poole, so if you've got a couple of million to spend, get yourself down there. Marcus could definitely be the man to beat in the championship next year. He might get a lot of opposition from this man, Andy Burton, with this absolutely sensational machine. It's I mean, really it is a Bitzer, but it doesn't look it, does it? It looks like one of those old Group B cars. Warswick still going well. The man who sometimes drives in the Voss series. So both races and rallies, and there aren't many people that do that. Vince Wetton not going to win Group N on this particular event. John Byrne still going strongly with the Metro. Richie Holfeld not having the best of runs, flying down 6th, 7th place in Group N. Usually we see him battling for the lead of the showroom honours in the Holpack back to Mitsubishi. That car built by Steve Hill. Robinson's venerable escort there, Guy Robinson, again having a run inside the top 20. Here is Mark Perrott from Leominster. Mark running in the Seat series this year and really not coming to grips with the car. Neil Simpson having an absolutely outstanding run in this diesel-powered car. Haven't seen the diesel Citroen in this rally thus far, and mention as we see the 1998 97 car champion go past, or KA champion if you will, that Andrea Hall looks set to actually take the title here as we move into special stage 8 definite, with the news that Andy Burton has crashed out of second place, and Alister McRae is even further in the lead now. And news also that Marcus Dodd is still coming back through the field going into this stage, lying in 4th place ahead of Jeremy Eason, but with the chance of actually moving up to 3rd position. Murray Grierson is the man who is lying in 2nd and looks all set to take that place. Brian Lyle is back in the rally, but well down the field. Here is Marcus Dodd, car still bopping and banging as it goes. Marcus Dodd obviously having a big attack, trying to make it into the top 3. Steve Hill just inside the top 10. Lynn Jones in the ex-All-Stars Subaru having an absolutely outstanding run, looks as if he'll take that Welsh title. And the Icelandic driver, he has been a revelation, never seen these forests before, quite a following come with him from the little country of Iceland. There's only 250,000 people live there. He's well inside the top 10. Well, this rally has just been so wet. Warswick having a great run. We understand on Garthiniog it was McRae fastest again. This time taking a massive 53 seconds out of 2nd fastest Marcus Dodd. Duckworth 3rd, then Grierson, and 10th fastest on Garthiniog, the diesel Golf of Neil Simpson. This must be a man to watch. Also shows how diesel rally cars are coming on, but we're now on the last stage of the day, Dyfnant, as stage 9 has been cancelled. Roger Davis, another regular Group N competitor, drops a man, done quite a lot of work on promoting the rally. Number 24 is Gary Smith in his recently acquired High Mutt Escort, and there's Philip Squires, another of the quick men in the Mark II Escort. Philip Squires having a good run in the top 20, and number 28, another man having a good run in Group N, Paul Snell, back then to Shrewsbury. And this is what it looked like on special stage 9, and we can talk to the clerk of the course about it all. John, perhaps the toughest rally that you've ever run here?
It certainly is. In 17 years doing the job, this is the toughest one. The conditions have been absolutely atrocious, yet here we are standing in sunshine at the finish. How ironic.
I understand even a couple of hours before the event there was a possibility it wouldn't happen.
Oh yes, there were. Last night the access roads to this forest were blocked by flood water, and this morning we just didn't know what we were going into. And at the moment the River Severn is rising here, and we've only got a couple of hours before it covers the site we're standing on.
1, 2, 3. Congratulate the winners once again. Alister McRae, David Steele, winners of the Midland Rally, Bulldog Security Products. I assume you're doing the RAC?
Alister, join you in your office here, your office for today, and a new office, but you've had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, it's been good. This has been an extension of the test we did at the start of the week in Wales. Obviously preparation for the RAC. It's gone well, we've had no problems, and I'm feeling a bit more confident with the car.
So as the ProDrive WRC,
Murray, congratulations, made it a Scottish 1-2 on this event.
Scottish 1-2, yes. A little bit bigger gap than might be normal in a national event, but it's glad to see Alister's going at a really decent pace.
Conditions terrible today.
Very, very slippy, very wet, but we knew that before we came with the weather they've had during the week, so it wasn't unexpected.
Jeremy, your first run in the Evo 5 on the gravel obviously went very well. 5th place overall.
Yes, very, very pleased with it. I was a bit unsure whether the wide track was going to be a problem, but no, it's worked really, really well. Fantastic car.
Is it quite a bit different to the previous model?
It's a little bit quicker. I think that's mainly due to a different turbocharger that's fitted, and the traction is a little bit better as well. So slight improvements, but it just makes the car a little bit quicker.
Congratulations, had an excellent run today.
Yeah, it's gone reasonably well. You know, the driver did a serious mistake on the first 2 stages of this tyre choice. Other than that, the day's gone all right.
You've been rallying a fair while. How do you rate this Subaru against the other cars you've driven?
Well, in the time as it is at the moment, I reckon this is one of the very best cars. You know, if you go back 10 years, so was the Quattro and so was the Manta, but I reckon today is one of the very best.
You're happy with your top 10 result?
Yeah, it's not so bad, is it?
But I think it's pretty good for an old boy.
Thank you very much.
Well, how did you enjoy your first British rally? Wet?
Very wet. I never drive in a rain like that. Never.
Now, I think you finished 12th. That's an excellent result. You seem to go very well most of the time.
Yes, I'm very happy. Just because I was sick today, so that's very good for us.
You were sick today? Yeah. You weren't feeling well. What's wrong?
I don't know, some flu. Some bad flu.
So you're hoping to come back and do some more events in Britain, maybe next year?
Yeah, I hope so. I hope I will be here next year in some rallies.
Good 12th place finish for him. A shot that says it all about the 1998 Bulldog Rally. Victory McRae, Grierson second, Dodd, Duckworth, Eason. Yeah, Dodd coming up to 3rd place. Perrott, Jones, Lyle, Warswick and Hill. That's the top 10. And let's check out the final positions in the championship. Duckworth, of course, the winner from Grierson. Martin Harrison dropping to 3rd place. Steve Petch and Jeff Smith, who retired on the first stage today, equal 4th. Well, that's it.